Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this video today, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to install the Team Z mini tub kit for a Fox body. As you guys saw from last week, I did the Team Z coilover kit install on this Fox body. Well, I've got the rear end out and I've got everything ready. So let's go ahead and get started and see how to complete the Team Z mini tub kit. All right, so as you guys can kind of see, I've already gotten the rear end and all the suspension out of the car. Everything's kind of out of the back here, and I've already got these panels off. Actually, surprising enough, this car looks pretty damn good. I figured it would be in a little bit worse shape because the car had sat for, I don't know, 12, 15 years, whatever it was. But it's actually in really good shape. But anyways, so got all this stuff off, and what Team Z recommends for their instructions is basically right down here where the pinch weld starts, right at the end of the tub, you measure from there 9 inches out. And that'll basically kind of be your cut line. So what I did to make sure that my lines are perfectly straight and I'm not cutting in either, that direction or that direction, I took a piece of string and went from tub to tub at the exact same point. So I knew I had a straight line. And from there, I measured out 9 inches. So you can see this piece of tape right here. On this line, this side is my basically 9 inches out. So now I'm going to have to draw basically another line along this tape to connect with that, and then go all the way down, 9 inches all the way down, and make another one down there. So I was just kind of showing you guys the beginning of my process, what my thoughts were and why I did it. And once I finish putting the tape down and getting all that stuff set up, I'll turn the video back on and we'll go from there. All right, just to kind of recap where I'm at this point. So, as you saw from earlier, what I did was lay a piece of string all the way over so I got it straight. Well, what I also did was I measured down there at the pinch weld of the tubs, and I did the same thing. I laid a piece of string from tub to tub over there so I could get a straight line. Once I did that and measured 9 inches out on both sides, I then took string and laid it down between this way, long ways, between the string marks and tied it down. From that point, I took pieces of cardboard and cut them out to get straight lines along the string. And then I basically, the only paint that I had was like a weld through primer paint. So it actually probably work out. So in case I don't get it all clean, it'll still weld through. But so what I did is once I laid down the cardboard to get my edges perfectly straight, I taped it down and then I sprayed. So now I've got this, as you can see, this gray cut line of basically exactly where it should be. The other thing the mini tub kit says to do is basically from this seam right here, at least go about a ½ inch in. As you can kind of see, I've made a mark. So at least a ½ inch from this area, cut a line. So basically the tubs have something to weld to or sit on. So what I'm going to end up doing now is cut along this line, and then as gentle as I can cut along this painted line that you see and get the tub out. So that's where I am. That's what I did to get to this point, and I'll go ahead and get it cut out. So I already did the other side. So this side I did it a little bit different. As you can see from the piece of the tub right here, I just cut along the actual bottom line. The biggest I would say pain in the ass that I had with the other side is once you cut out along that 9 inches is all these brackets right here. They're really a pain in the ass. Now you don't have to get rid of them, but I cut my tub on the other side, and I'll show you guys that later, along the frame so it didn't hang down. Some guys actually have it where it hangs all the way down to here, but then you have this open space. So I cut all these out. So when you're making that cut, these are what's going to kind of hang you up. So I think what I'm going to do with this side is go ahead and cut along these lines right here. And go ahead and kind of separate those. So then I can make my big cut for the rest of the tub. So I'll kind of get to that and then show you that afterwards. All right, guys. So as you can see, I've got the full tub cut out. I basically, as you saw earlier, those brackets that I was talking about, I cut those out and ground them down. I still got some more finishing up to do with that. But the full tub is cut out, and now I've got to clean a lot of this stuff up. And now I'm going to basically build the plate Team Z calls for, I think, 1/8 inch. I don't think I have 1/8. I've got like 10 gauge or a little bit bigger, so I'll probably build it out of that. But as you can see all over the ground, this is a messy job. All the, road grime and, everything that's been on this frame for years, basically, is on my garage floor now. But anyways, so I'm gonna build that plate, kind of finish some of this stuff up, weld it in, and then I'll turn the camera back on. All right, guys. So the next point I'm at, so I've already got the plates on the frame. I've got it all welded in. The next thing I'm gonna do is, so the tubs come in basically 2 pieces. You can order the ones already put together, and I would recommend getting the ones put together. After this, I'll show you. Putting these things together is kind of a pain in the ass, I should say. But anyway, so you get this on here. I got magnets on the back holding it in. You get it at the right height that you want it. And on this back side, back here, I'll take a marker and I'll draw a line right at where the frame rail is so I know where to cut it. If you don't want to cut it and you just want to leave these tubs coming all the way down to where the frame is, then just leave it like this and you can assemble the tub. But what I'm going to do is get it at the right height and then make a little mark right here, a little cut, so this thing will sit actually on the sheet metal. But anyways, so I'm gonna go make my line and then make a cut, and then we'll assemble the tub. All right, as you guys can see, I got the tub out. I made my line where it was basically at the frame from the inside of the car. So what I'm gonna do now is probably cut about 1/4 inch below this line, just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, because I can sand that down later. So I'm gonna get this cut out and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so I've got the tub cut. I've got it sitting in there to test fit it to make sure my cuts were good, and I did ended up cutting it 1/4 inch below that blue line that you saw. I drew another line, and that's the one I cut. I can, sand that stuff down or cut it off later. But what I'm gonna do now is cut the actual tub, the top of the tub itself. All right, as you guys can see, this is the tub, how it comes. It comes longer than you need and obviously wider than you need. And what the directions say is from this, so you got this, what do they call it, Pittsburgh seam, from the top of it all the way out, measure 9 1/4 inches. Your tubs are gonna be, you cut and did everything for 9 inches, but that 1/4 inch is gonna bend over and kind of sit in that Pittsburgh seam. So 9 1/4, and then make sure it's straight, make you a cut line, and then cut your tub to that length. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so I've got my tub cut to the right length, and also, as you saw earlier, I've got the inside of the tub cut to where I want it. So now is putting these tubs together. And again, if I can stress, if you have the money, get the tubs already pre-put together. The first one I did was a pain in the ass. I kind of know how to do it a little bit better. We'll see how this one goes. But anyways, I kind of show you how to do it. So what I kind of do is pre-bend this thing just a little bit. You see the Pittsburgh seam right there, and then on the tub, it's kind of bent over. That locks into that, and then the end gets hit over it. Be careful with these tubs because they're like super thin. I gouged my finger yesterday trying to grab it and move it, and it sliced me pretty good. So be careful with these. But anyway, so. All right, so took me probably about 20-30 minutes. The last little bit, I had to come have some help. Once you get down towards the end of bending the tub around, it gets a little tough, so I had to have my son come help me for that last little bit. But there's probably a better way to do it. You can see this edge is a little like beat up looking. It's because having to fold it over, so probably take like a straight edge, you know what I mean, lay it on it, and then hit it to kind of get it straight. But I'm probably gonna put a little bit of seam sealer right there, so, and then paint over them, so I don't really care. But anyways, tubs are together. Now I'm gonna fit them in the car, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of about a 1/2 inch, and this is about 1 inch on this side, kind of overhang. And I'm gonna fit them in the car so I can actually cut these to the length that I need. I think Team Z's instructions, it's like 47 1/8 or something like that to go ahead and cut them. But I would rather just put it in the car, and if I needed a little bit of extra, I have it. So anyways, let's go ahead and fit them in the car. All right, guys, basically a word of warning. So make sure when you're cutting these tubs, you do not cut basically into your torque boxes. Just right, basically, if you can see right here, just right before is kind of where I cut. And then the tub kind of follows the frame rail. I use this cheap, I think it's Duplicolor bed armor. It's for truck beds on the bottom of it to kind of give it a tough coating. It actually, I didn't like it. It doesn't spray that well, so I might go try to get something else, maybe a lizard skin or something that's a little bit better. But also one thing to look out for is down here you kind of have your rocker piece. You'll see it come out. So when you make this line for your tub, when you're cutting it, do not cut into that rocker. So you'll see the kind of, when I cut the tub, I had to cut a little half moon basically into it right there. So I did not cut into that rocker. So just be wary of that when you're cutting these and fitting them and all that. It's easier to, when you're cutting this piece out, to cut a little bit short and then just keep cutting until you get the size that you need. But like I said, the tubs are in. All right, guys, so now you can see I've got the tubs in, they're welded in, and I put seam sealer all the way around it and underneath. So this is another really tedious process of this. Once you get them cut out basically to your length and you start setting them in, it's basically put the tub in, trim it, put it back in, trim it, put it back in, and keep in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out until you get the exact fit that you want. I probably pulled these, you know, this one out, I don't know, 10 to 12 times probably, if not more, to make sure that it fit just perfect. And it'd just be a little, maybe this corner was causing it to not sit right. Make sure as well when you're welding these are really thin. Like I said, I think they're 20, 22 gauge. So the metal obviously that came on the car is a lot thicker. So I had to turn my, I've got a Miller 180 auto set MIG welder. I basically had to turn that down almost all the way to almost its lowest setting. But what I would do for these is go right at the corner and basically kind of start my weld at the very base of the car's original sheet metal, and then just kind of drag up into this. If you kind of start on this, you're going to blow through. I had a couple times somewhere along here that I had a couple blow throughs, but you know, I had to patch it up. And then up here, I probably welded it. I did little inch-long tack welds, probably every, I don't know, 6 inches or so. And then kind of did the same thing around here. I did, you know, bigger ones, and I probably did those 2 or 3 inches apart, all the way down to the bottom. So the tubs are in. It was a pretty easy install. I've done this once before on an old 69 Camaro that I had. So these tubs were a little bit different. They're a little bit thinner, but otherwise it's a pretty straightforward install. Team Z, if you go to their website, they have instructions with a step-by-step kind of, and pictures to kind of show you what to do. That's basically what I went off of to install these. But again, just make sure, that's why I said earlier I leave a little bit of overhang and then I pull them out and cut them, because I didn't want to cut it to the exact length that I thought, and then I set it in here and it's wrong. And now I've got to fix my screw up. So I just kept putting it in and out. If you're good like that and
can nail it right off the bat, then you won't have, it won't take you as long as it did me. But anyways, like I said, in the description, I'll put a link to where you can get these tubs, so you can click right on it and go look at these that I bought that are not put together. And then they also sell ones that are already put together. I think you're going to pay a little bit more shipping, but after you kind of see it, may be worth it. But anyways, this was the install. If you guys would like to see anything else, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.